Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet, more specifically the Crystal Pool cutscene, tells us that we're dealing with different timelines. Paradox Pokémon are not technically ancient or future versions of Pokémon we have, nor are they the product of our dreams. Although to the professors, they are both. They dream about getting ancient or future Pokémon, and their work made it happen by accessing different timelines to the so-called Time Machine. And it's this new information that might be ever so revealing about a specific group in the Paldean region. So hey, I'm Not So Ace Trainer, and what about the Paldean Elite 4? Let's get into it. In order for you to understand where I'm going, we first need to take a look at the past. Different timelines are nothing new in Pokemon, since they've been around for quite a while. It all first started in Gen 5 when both Pokemon Black and Pokemon White's realities exist regardless of what game you're playing. In Opalucid City, we meet time in Pokemon Black that talks about an Opalucid City that's more traditional, while in Pokemon White, we meet Bak, who talks about an Opalucid City that is more modern. This is the first canon reference to a different timeline in the Pokemon franchise. But that isn't the only time, as we see more and more of it as we are playing through Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The whole Delta episode storyline stands on the fact that using that link cable to send that meteorite to the other world would basically affect the timeline where there was no ultimate weapon being fired and thus there was no Mega Evolution being discovered, which is direct reference to the original Gen 3 games. And those are also the games where we find Luker completely lost and unaware of what happened to him. And right after Gen 6, we're hit with the actual Multiverse games by having the whole Ultra Beast plotline, along with many reveals like Annabelle being a faller, which is someone that came from another universe through the Ultra Wormhole. And she even references her job in Pokemon Emerald as the powerful trainer that protected the tower, which is the Battle Tower. We also have the Rainbow Rocket storyline with Giovanni gathering all the evil team leaders from all the universes where they actually went through with their plans in order to conquer the multiverse. We have the Reverse World, all the weird Ultra Beast worlds, and even the Ultra Ruin, the strange version of Alola that was destroyed by Guzlo. All of them accessible through the Ultra Warp Ride. These are just some examples, as we can speculate about many more. We have the actual Arceus realm we see in Pokemon Legends Arceus, we have each individual world from each individual Creation Trio member, like for example the Distortion world. We have the Inter-Dream Zone we can access with the Dream Raider, as well as the Ghost world that is mentioned in many Pokédex entries of Ghost Pokemon. But we also know that there are people that move through those worlds, and we know there are some people that try to keep it all under control. We've talked about Annabelle, which we know is a faller, and Luker, which is very likely one as well. For example, one very interesting theory is how this man right here in the SS Ain is actually Luker before being dragged to another universe, the one where we found him near the shore. We've also talked about Team Rainbow Rocket and how they moved through timelines, and from the games we also know that Mon, Luzamine, and Guzma were able to do the same. But there's one specific group that intrigues me. The Ultra Recon Squad is an organization that is investigating not only Ultra Beasts and Ultra Wormholes, but also the worlds that they come across. Their goal is to try to bring light to their own world, while also trying to warn others about the dangers of Necrozma. An organization that moves through the multiverse, through different timelines in a way, with a specific goal. And that's what takes us right back to the Paldea region. There was always something strange about the Paldean Elite 4. Larry is both a gym leader and an Elite 4 member. There's no special rooms for any of them as we're used to seeing since the very start of the franchise, and there's a child there. Geeta did not help their case, though I'm ignoring the whole "oh, Geeta is the weakest champion" discourse for this one. The only important thing about Geeta in this case is that she is very interested in what's going on in Area Zero, being not only one of the sponsors through the Pokémon League, but also pushing us to go back there with the Indigo Disc in order to get more information out of it. Even admitting to going down there herself multiple times and asking for us to bring it back to her in case we find nothing. This alone would make them just weird. Suspicious, sure, but just weird. What makes me think that they might be aware of something else going on from the very beginning is the interview we have to do before actually challenging the Elite 4, the champion assessment. For the most part, they're just harmless questions. What's your favorite gym leader? What do you want to do when you become a champion? And things like that. But when they ask you which school you are enrolled in, they use Manzana Academy, Huva Academy, and Naranja Academy. While we know nothing of a Manzana Academy, despite we theorizing that there was one in Kitakami at a certain point, we do know that Uva Academy and Naranja Academy are present in opposing timelines. There's only one of them in your world, and there's nothing that implies that they exist anywhere else. Ever since then, I was very intrigued by why is that even a question, or why are those your options? And I thought, well, maybe that's a way to try and catch people lying. Maybe they don't want a lying champion. But maybe it's a way to do that while also trying to identify anyone who has actually crossed timelines. We've talked about the Ultra Recon Squad being an organization that is, well, doing recon through the Ultra Space. And considering how strange the Pokémon League is here, what if that's the case with them as well? Not really just doing recon, but acting as part of an organization that wants to keep the timelines balanced. There's a strange level of secrecy in the way Geeta talks about the incidents in Area Zero, and there's also the fact they are the one Pokémon League up until now that use gloves or any other kind of clothing with their special logo. That is such a secret organization kind of thing that it really makes me think that's what they are. Oh, how did that get up there? Anyway, their logo is a compass, something that you use to guide yourself while exploring. But they're not really doing any exploring, are they? At least not in a traditional way like you are, for example. But what if they are part of something that actually does some exploring just on a grander scale? They have roles in Paldean society, important ones, being teachers, the chairwoman of the Academy's board, or even the Pokémon League itself. And maybe they don't have any ill intent like we thought about many times before. But I will die on this hill that there's something more to the characters of the Elite Four in Paldea. I mean, Larry even is the gym leader of the only town that has the entrance to the Zero Gate. They are making sure that the incidents involving the timelines connecting to each other don't get out of hand. The story of Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet happens after the plot of Alola, considering we know it happens after Gen 8 since we have Sonia's book in the library, and in Gen 8 you had Type Null, which could only be out of the lab after the whole Aether Foundation storyline. So the whole Team Rainbow Rocket thing and the Ultra Beasts already happened. And then there's now strange Paradox Pokemon appearing in Paldea, and Geeta has access to the research. It is not strange that in order to filter those who are from that timeline and those who are not, in order to avoid something like what happened in Alola, they are in control of everything, from the league, to the school, to even the alternate currency we use in the Paldea region. And that is all I have for you today. Timelines make things very complicated, but they also make things very interesting. But what about you? Do you suspect the Elite Four of anything? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content, and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. You can follow me on social media or catch my streams here and on Twitch every day of the week. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.